Welcome, and thanks a million for looking in on this brief introduction to the great state of Oklahoma. I'm Matt Bates, and I'm your Oklahoma tourism and recreation guy here in Ireland. In these few minutes, join me on a brief road trip through America's heartland. Oklahoma is a state brimming with incredible experiences, quirky to cultural, breathtaking to delicious. Let's get started. Enjoy the trip. Okay, here we go. We like to say our state's full of wide open wonder. So let's kick off with 5 fun facts about Oklahoma. We're home to the longest all-drivable stretch of iconic Route 66. And on that 600 plus kilometer stretch are our two major cities. That's Oklahoma City and Tulsa. We're home to 39 Native American tribal headquarters. And cowboy life is alive and kicking in Oklahoma. In fact, we have North America's largest working cattle stockyard here in Oklahoma City. Then there's Oklahoma's 30 plus state parks and eco areas, as breathtaking in their own ways as many of the famous national parks across the US, and of course, much less crowded. Let's take a look at where we are and how to get here. Oklahoma sits in the center of the USA, north of Texas and between New Mexico and Arkansas. Our two primary regional airports are located in the state's capital, Oklahoma City, and a bit further east on Route 66 in Tulsa. You can get to either airport in just around 2 to 3 hours flying from transatlantic gateways like Chicago, Atlanta, and New York. Or you can easily access Oklahoma from nearby transatlantic gateway Dallas-Fort Worth. That's around an hour's drive from the Oklahoma state line. So as you'll see, we are well within reach. It's Oklahoma's central location that makes it the ultimate road trip state. There really is no better way to explore the state than by car, in a motorhome, or on a motorbike. Taking to the road will let you explore all the hidden gems on offer. No matter what your interest, there's an Oklahoma road trip route just waiting to be explored. And no road is more famous than America's original road trip route, the Mother Road, Route 66. Across 600 plus kilometers of drivable tarmac, you'll uncover a diverse mix of must-see stops, everything from quirky roadside photo ops to genuine American diners, many with their iconic neon signs still flashing a welcome. The route will also take you through both of Oklahoma's largest cities and lots of small towns, each with its own charm and Route 66 history on display. At this point, I just want to mention our great fun new Route 66 passport. You can get this now for kids or adults who really like passport stamp collecting. They're free, collectible from a number of Oklahoma tourism offices and iconic roadside locations across the route. And when travel restarts, you'll also be able to order these directly from me to present to your customers before they head out to the USA. Oh, and one more thing to keep in mind, 2026 will be the 100-year anniversary of Route 66. That's just 5 years away, so now is a great time to start planning. And by the way, mentioning Oklahoma City and Tulsa prompts me to say, be sure to visit the Travel Oklahoma website and browse the Oklahoma Music Trail. You'll be amazed at the big name artists who hail from the state, from country's Blake Shelton and Carrie Underwood to rock's J.J. Cale and Kings of Leon. Music really is a big story in Oklahoma, not least in Tulsa in 2021, when the long-planned Bob Dylan Center will open, featuring Dylan's archive in its very own building. But it's not just music history that's a big story in Oklahoma. Live music is everywhere. You'll be amazed. So visit www.travelok.com and check it out. Moving on to Native American life and culture. Many individual tribal community centers also feature museums, including the Comanche National Museum and Cultural Center in Lawton. That's home to the most extensive collection of Comanche art in the world. In Oklahoma City, you'll also find a number of dedicated museums that showcase various tribal communities. At the Red Earth Museum, for example, you'll discover a collection of traditional and contemporary Native American fine art, pottery, basketry, textiles, and beadwork from some of the community's most respected and emerging artists. And coming up, big news for 2021. The incredible First Americans Museum, set to open in September, is a phenomenal new facility and a game changer. It celebrates the stories and legacies of all 39 tribal nations headquartered in Oklahoma in one state-of-the-art new facility. Watch this space for more on this amazing new world-first museum. Museums and living history experiences are always on offer, and at certain times of the year, visitors can immerse themselves in Native American traditions at any number of celebrations and powwows across the state. Highlights include the Red Earth Festival in Oklahoma City each June, Choctaw Labor Day Festival in Tuskahoma in early September, and the Standing Bear Powwow in Ponca City also in September. And there are dozens of events, large and small, for you to check out all across the state. On travelok.com, you'll also find great resources and a brochure dedicated to Oklahoma's Western heritage and experiences. American cowboy life is alive and kicking in the Sooner State. So think rodeos, cattle drives, barbecue joints, ranches, and much more. It's a land of living history. Some must-dos include a visit to one of the state's many rodeos and cattle drives, like the Cowboy Stampede in Stillwater, which takes place most years in early October. One of Oklahoma City's must-visit experiences is the Stockyard City District, close to downtown, and filled with Western stores, stock pens, an auction house, and heritage-listed buildings. So whether you want to buy new boots or a cowboy hat, or watch a Longhorn cattle auction, this is the place to drink in cowboy life and traditions, old and new. And down in Duncan, Oklahoma, you can experience a 4D version of a cattle drive along the iconic Chisholm Trail, for years the well-trodden route for cowboys driving cattle up from northern Texas, through Oklahoma and Kansas to the railheads at Abilene and then Dodge City. The Chisholm was one of the most famous, sometimes infamous, cattle trails of the post-Civil War era. It's a real Wild West experience. Turning now to the great outdoors, you'll maybe be surprised to learn that there are more than 30 state parks spread across Oklahoma in 12 distinct ecoregions. So from forests to sand dunes, from lakes to salt flats, the state is replete with diverse natural wonders. And best of all, state parks tend to be far more affordable to visit than their national park siblings and much less crowded, meaning you won't have any trouble getting those iconic Insta-worthy nature shots and selfies. It's genuine, wide-open wonder. For those with a spirit of adventure, our state parks include Robbers Cave, which is a favourite locale for outdoor fans of all kinds. Its real claim to fame, though, is unique. Home to a massive cave which once served as a hideout for infamous outlaws including Jesse James and Belle Starr. Up in the north of the state is the Great Salt Plains State Park, remains of a prehistoric ocean and now an unexpected and fun landscape to explore. And just a short 1-hour drive from Salt Plains, you'll find the equally unique Little Sahara State Park. Much like the Salt Plains, this sandy oasis is also the remains of an ancient inland ocean. But instead of salt, the sand here is perfect for tobogganing or quad bike racing, if you're up for it. And having worked up a hearty appetite on the road and in the parks, finding a place to eat well is always a pleasure. If there's one thing Okies love more than delicious, carefully sourced and prepared down-home food, it's sharing a meal with family, friends and visitors. The variety and diversity is wide, and competition for the best barbecue and fried chicken coatings can be intense, but it's always friendly. Food courts and food trucks are a big deal in Oklahoma's towns and the two big cities, so do take note. Music and food are destined to be big draws for visitors when travel to Oklahoma opens up again. It's all food for the soul. And to wash down your meal, you may want to raise a glass or two. Oklahoma City and Tulsa are hot on the local microbrewery trend, with independent breweries like Welltown in Tulsa and Oklahoma City's ever-popular Bricktown Brewery, wowing locals and visitors alike. Craft beer creators are popping up all over and uber trendy throughout the state. For wine and fun lovers, Girls Gone Wine, a winery cellar and store down in Broken Bow, is hard to describe, but a convenient and total fun stopover for road trippers visiting the Choctaw Nation or Beavers Bend State Park. Wherever your road trip takes you, your thirst can be enjoyably and, of course, responsibly quenched. So, why Oklahoma? Well, as you can see, there really is an incredible amount to see and do here. From the wide open wonders of the state parks, allowing travellers to get out of the crowds and into the fresh air and open plains, to the quirky, offbeat and nostalgic legacy of America's original highway, Route 66. But one thing's certain, no matter which route you take or the type of adventure you're planning, make sure you factor in some time for the unexpected, because this really is a state where surprises abound. And more often than not, those surprises come from the individuals who call the state home. Whether it's a chat with your server at a family fun diner on Route 66, or swapping life stories with a genuine cowgirl in Stockyard City, or learning more from the inspirational leaders who have helped shape Oklahoma's forward-thinking and open spirit, Oklahoma is chock full of the friendliest folks on earth, all ready to chat and welcome you back soon. So I hope this has whetted your appetite to explore Oklahoma some more. I've already mentioned the travelok.com website, and it features great printable flyers, maps, and assets to help you plan your client's ultimate Oklahoma road trip. Out very soon will be the first edition of our new bi-monthly e-bulletin, bringing you all the latest news and developments around the state. Be sure to subscribe. Just email me to do that. And we've recently joined with Brand USA to bring you a brand new Oklahoma badge on the USA Discovery Program. Visit their usadiscoveryprogram.co.uk website to find out how to register, or again, drop me an email for the details. And just to spice things up a bit further, if you're amongst the first 25 colleagues to email me and subscribe to our bi-monthly Oklahoma e-bulletin, I'll send you a bottle of our legendary Northern Oklahoma barbecue sauce. Just need your name and company, your email address for the bulletin, and of course your postal address for the sauce. Okay, so we've really just scratched the surface in this brief road trip through our endlessly surprising and exciting state. You'll find a treasure trove of information and imagery on the website at travelok.com. And of course, feel free to call or email me anytime if you have specific questions or even just want to shoot the breeze about developing your Oklahoma knowledge and program. Look forward to being in touch. Keep well and stay safe.